A light gun series gets a remake, and this free DLC definitely won't let you down. This and more with Play and Tell. So welcome back to another episode of Play and Tell. I'm your host, Xander Skullion, where I talk about games I've been playing, leave little short impressions, little reviews, and most importantly, when you walk away, you have something new to play. Now, before I start talking about the games I've been playing, I do want to give a plug to a local retro store here in Wilmington, North Carolina. This place called Retroscape. Now, my guitarist and I, we had just gotten back from band practice. We heard about this place, wanted to check it out. And, I thought it would just be, a mom and pop retro store. But it's that and more. You guys are looking at some of the footage off their Facebook page, and it's like a lounge. It's a retro gaming lounge. And, I was blown away how cool this place was, because everything that was on the shelves, most of it was for sale. But if you weren't wanting to buy any games, you can actually put in time and play games in this like retro, nostalgic living room setup. And the reason why I'm getting to this, and again, check out Retroscape if you're in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. I'll have a link to their Facebook page below. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because I saw a nostalgic kind of setup they had of an older HD television with an Xbox 360 hooked up, and I was like, oh man, I don't know about you guys, I've been getting really nostalgic with the 360 lately. So the game I want to talk about is Sonic the Hedgehog 4, mainly episode 1. I actually did a live stream of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 because I feel like this is a game that not a whole lot of people talk about, and playing it again I can see why. It's not that great of a Sonic game. It's not terrible, but I was playing the stream, and there was so many things that happened in that game that I was just like, what the heck's going on? But at the time, 2010, when that game came out, it had that almost like new Super Mario Brothers flavor to it, because retro was starting to get kind of cool again, and they tried to have like this 2D newer Sonic game, and it just kind of fell flat. But yeah, Sonic 4, that's definitely one of the games I've been playing. And staying with some retro, I've also been playing a lot of Game Boy Advance lately. And I think just all the talk of the Playdate and Analog Pocket, I've just been really wanting to dive into some handhelds. And one game I've been playing on the Game Boy Advance that I feel like no one talks about is Dragon Ball Adventure Advance. Of course, this is following the original Dragon Ball, a young Goku and a teenage Bulma, trying to find the Dragon Balls. And I've always had a soft spot for the original Dragon Ball series. It's one of the earliest anime shows I've watched, and I still prefer Dragon Ball over Dragon Ball Z. I know, that's weird, but this game is not weird at all. This game is a lot of fun. It's a hack and slash adventure game, loosely following the whole Dragon Ball series. So you have cutscenes of like meeting Yamcha and battling Oolong. It's really, really cool. And one thing I can note about this title on the Game Boy Advance is how well it's aged. This game looks really, really good, and the play style is really fun. I mean, you're not just hacking and slashing, but you also learn moves like the Kamehameha Wave and your expansion pole. As a matter of fact, you can actually use your pole to deflect enemy projectiles, which was really, really cool. I don't really know how much this game's going for out in the wild, but if you do see Dragon Ball Adventure Advance, pick it up. Otherwise, just emulate it. Either way, it's a really fun game. In a previous episode of Play and Tell, I was talking about Mighty Goose, a really fun run and gun love letter to games like Metal Slug. You're playing as this goose bounty hunter. I absolutely love this game, and the reason why I'm going back and talking about this game in this episode is now there is a free DLC update for Mighty Goose. Now, it is worth noting that you can access this free DLC once you complete Mighty Goose, so that is one caveat, but hey, say you're like me and you completed Mighty Goose and really enjoyed that game and want just a little bit more, you can't turn down free. And this is a whole new stage, and it's got so much to offer, from its typical run and gun mechanics to almost a submarine sort of vehicle stage to even a surfing moment. I mean, this has a lot of bang for the buck, and may I add that there is no buck, because this is a free DLC. And like, again, if you enjoyed Mighty Goose, definitely give this a go. Now, some people say that imitation is the highest form of flattery. This game kind of falls in that category. I got it super cheap on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and that is Super Cyborg. I got it for like $6, and as you can see, it's a Contra clone. It is a straight up Contra clone. It's a run and gun, one-hit kill. The 30-man code does not work. I tried that, but I mean, this game also makes me think of Contra, but also makes me think of Contra over the pond, because they didn't have soldiers. They had like these cybernators, like robots, and that's what kind of Super Cyborg has. So maybe the developers over there, I'm not too familiar, but maybe they're European, and that's kind of nostalgic for them. But Super Cyborg is a lot of fun. I will say, the more you play the stage, there's 7 stages altogether, but the more you progress through the game itself, the more it forms its own identity. The first stage is definitely going to be very much a love letter to the Contra series, but once you get past the second stage, it really starts to blossom and gets really, really cool. Sometimes nostalgia gets the best of us. Let's face it, we're all sucker for nostalgia, and when I heard about this game getting a remake, I was like, ooh, I'm really intrigued about this, because I'm a big fan of light gun shooters, the arcade genre. It's one of my favorites. No matter where I'm at, if they have some sort of arcade game I can use a gun and shoot things, I'll play it. And of course, I'm talking about the House of the Dead remake that just came out. It was $20 digitally. And, I was like, that's a little too much, but I mean, it's still cheaper than, tracking down the Saturn copy, or, tracking down some of the PS3 and Wii releases of some of the House of the Dead games. So I was like, I'll go ahead and get the $20 digital download. And first things first, I want to say the game looks like the way I imagine House of the Dead used to look like. You know what I mean? Like, there's some of those games that in your mind look a lot better than when you see them in person. And I feel like, House of the Dead hasn't aged well. The remake really revamped the series, and it looks really good. I mean, it doesn't look spectacular. It looks very last gen, but for what it is, it captures that, a late 2000s era Sega look. But of course, you may be asking yourself about the controls. Well, this remake has so many control options. Let me tell you, you can play with just the Joy-Con, point with the Joy-Con, use the trigger buttons for your reload and shot, or you can use 2 Joy-Cons, or you can use a controller with the gyro, or you can also press a shoulder button and use the D-pad or the joystick as a crosshair. It's a lot. It's a lot. And remember, I told you guys, the game was $20. I thought it was a little too much, but nostalgia got me. Well, nostalgia made me spend more money, because I got this right here. It's a light gun sort of add-on accessory for the Nintendo Switch. It has the Joy-Cons in each side, and you have to program it where you move with this one right here. I aim with this one, and I shoot with these triggers here. And it's not perfect. It's not as good as, say, like a light gun game on the Wii or the Wii U, because that sensor bar did a lot more wonders than what the Switch does. But for what it is, it makes the game so much more enjoyable. And I know This accessory is bundled with a couple of like little light gun games for the Switch, like I think like Chicken Run or something like that, Chicken Farm Attack or something. But that sounds actually pretty cool, Chicken Farm Attack. But yeah, you can get the accessory by itself for like 18 bucks on Amazon. So yeah, I ended up spending almost $40 over nostalgia. Pew, pew, pew. Anyway, guys, what games have you been playing recently? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear some of your suggestions, some of your thoughts about some of the titles that are out right now. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, but also hit that bell so you're notified about all future videos that come out on this channel, and you get the notifications fresh out of the box. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, happy gaming.